Addicts, it's Alex. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be going over the makeup and brushes that I used today to create this look, which is a very bold makeup look. I will have the makeup tutorial linked down below. Alright, so let's just jump on into it. First, we're going to talk about the e.l.f. Makeup Mist and Set. I'm pretty sure I've already mentioned this before. I only have two setting sprays at the moment, so I'm kind of flip-flop between the two. So I'll probably try to keep it short moving forward. But the Makeup Mist and Set is okay. I don't hate it, I don't love it, I won't repurchase it, but I will use it up. So with that product, all I did was spray it all over my face before I started my makeup look. Then, the only concealer that I own at the moment is the e.l.f. HD Lifting Concealer. I absolutely love this concealer. I've gone through so many of them. You know, it does a good job of covering up your redness. It's smooth and creamy, not too cakey. I don't notice any creasing or anything, not that I really ever have a problem with that kind of stuff, but it's also $2.99, vegan and cruelty-free, something you can easily pick up at the drugstore. And, you know, if you can get it at Target and get your 5% off, that's even better. So I would highly recommend checking this out, especially if you're in a pinch, you don't have, you know, time to wait for shipping, you don't, you know, want to spend a lot of money. This is a good go-to. And so with this, whenever I'm doing a more dramatic makeup tutorial, or whenever I'm starting a makeup tutorial where I do my eyes first, then my face, what I do is I go in with this concealer and use it as an eyeshadow base. So I'll put it... Are you seriously knocking over my lip gloss, bud? You are so silly. You're so lucky. You're so handsome. Hello, face. See if you can see. Hi, bud. What are you doing? Knocking over my makeup. So silly. Well, turning that ended up working. I'm like, I'm going to turn this and it's not even going to show him, but it was perfect. And ignore this. I've been trying to scoot this way, but then the sun's over there too, so we're going to go with the stripes. But yeah, so I use it as an eyeshadow primer to cover up my brow bone because I have veins there that peek through, so I like to cover that up, and then it just, you know, prepares the eyeshadow for being put on to go on smoothly. So I really like this. I really want to find a dupe for a MAC paint pot, but I haven't found one so far. I think the one in soft ochre because it's more like a natural tone color, but until I find that, I just like using concealers. The next product I went in with is a product you can't get anymore, but at this point, ColourPop's always like discontinuing stuff, and I cannot keep up, and I don't care anymore. So it is the ColourPop Super Shock Shadow in Bravery, and this is a matte shade. It is a really dark brown shade, so you wouldn't have to create this look, you don't have to use this particular eyeshadow. The main thing is that you want to use a dark brown. And the reason why I wanted to use a dark brown is because I wanted to put black in the deep crease. So if I'm going to go with black in the deep crease, I wanted to have something that was lighter on the crease, but not too light. I wanted there to be a contrast, but I didn't want the contrast to be so completely opposite end. So I wanted to go for something a little bit darker than I normally go to, since I'm going with a darker crease shade than I normally go to, and I mean the deep crease. So the deep crease I used was a black, and then the blown out crease is a dark brown. So that's the key thing, is to use a dark brown. And just generally speaking, I really love ColourPop eyeshadows. I think that they're great. Out of like 50 that I have, only a couple have dried out on me before I got into hit pan, or like I just hit pan, but then they got kind of dry. This one I've already hit pan and I'm still able to use, even though it's starting to get dried out. I've had this for a couple of years. This was with the, I'm sorry if I get it wrong. It's been so long since I got it, but the Makeup by Dani, or Coffee with Dani, Coffee Break with Dani. I don't know, her collaboration where she had a quad, this was from that quad. So I really like it. It's nice having a dark brown shade, and I definitely want to get more from ColourPop, but this is what I have to use in the meantime. And I've mentioned many times that these ColourPop Super Shock Shadows are great for on the go. Now, to apply Bravery, I went in with an Essel Miss Glam beauty brush, and this is from one of her Ipsy bag. It came in an Ipsy bag, and it is the Ipsy L34 Blend beauty brush, so it's a great blowout crease color brush, so it's really fluffy, so it's really good if you're doing a blowout crease. I've really loved all of Essel Miss Glam beauty brushes, and I really like this brush a lot. The more eyeshadow brushes she comes out with, that will make me so happy, because I think that's like my one thing that I don't like. Well, there's two. One, I want there to be individually sold brushes, which I'm sure she probably has plans for down the road. I think she's probably just, you know, working her way to it because it's a newer business, you know, so that's totally understandable. So like my critique would be I would want a brushes to be sold in a single form. And the other thing is I want there to be more eye brushes, because I like eye brushes more than I like face brushes. And I don't know if this is true, and you guys can let me know. from your point of view or from what type of skin type that you have. But I feel like people who have oily skin tend to be all about the face brushes. And for me with dry skin, I kind of care more about the eye brushes because I don't need to continually touch up, like add a lot of powders and whatnot to my face because my face is already dry. So I'm trying to minimize that when I can. Sometimes I just don't even care. But you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that's like my only thing because I know SMS Glam, she has oily skin. So I'm not sure if that's why a lot of the brush sets are really pro face. So I don't know if that's my theory. If you guys agree, let me know. If you disagree, or if you just happen to know that she just happens to love face brushes, I don't know. But I just noticed a trend that there's a lot more face brushes. But this is one of her eye brushes, and I absolutely love it. Great quality, you know, very pretty brush. I love the lilac color and the double stone. I just think it's gorgeous, and it works great. Oh, my lash went up. I don't feel like fixing it. We'll be talking about that in a second. All right, I fixed it. Hopefully it doesn't move. I'm just trying to get through this video here. Okay, also I do want to share with you guys, I think I've mentioned this before, but just in case you guys are ever wondering whenever I'm doing makeup tutorials, you see this mirror. So it's not just a mirror, it's really cute though, it's like a shell, but it's also like one of those hairbrush things. I never really use a hairbrush, but I love the mirror and I just thought it was so cute. Look at that. I got that at Forever 21. Oh, one of my best purchases from Forever 21, for sure. Okay, so as I mentioned, I did go in with a black eyeshadow in the deep crease, and the color that I used is a Super Shock shadow from ColourPop, and it is called Roulette, and it is a matte eyeshadow. However, despite being matte, there's also glitter in it, so, and I'm okay with it. I'm like, whatever, I just need a matte black. So what I did was I went in with this SMS Glam Beauty brush. It's from the White Brush book, and it's called the Fluffy Crease W18 brush. So I just dipped that in here on the tip of the brush because the brush is kind of pointed. It kind of tapers up. And then you just go into the deep crease for that. So whenever you're trying to get into that deep crease, you want a brush that's not fluffy. There can be fluff to it to help you with blending, but it doesn't want to be a circular fluff. You want a tapered fluff. So I just spit on you, I'm sorry. So that, you know, you can get into that deep crease and not go too far out because you want the blown out crease color to show, and you want this to really add definition to the eye. So this look that I did is more what I call like a layered look, kind of like a cake, like a 3-layered cake. So you got the blue, the black, and the brown. So I'm not doing like an outer corner color. So whenever I'm doing a layered look, I like to use a brush like this to get into that deep crease. So Roulette has been great. It's a gray black eyeshadow. I don't have to dig into another palette just to get to a black. If I have one palette and all I need is a black, I just go for this. And this is also easy to carry on the go. For instance, if you put this black eyeshadow on your not your waterline, but like on the line where you would put liquid eyeliner, whether you put it on top of liquid eyeliner or just use it alone for shading, this is great to have on the go because you could easily touch up with it. Probably have to bring a little brush, but it's better than having to bring a whole palette. And like I said, in general, I just love the ColourPop Super Shock shadows. I think that they're great. And then this brush, like I said, SMS Glam Beauty brushes are great. I really like the double stone. I think this is one of my favorite brushes from SMS Glam Beauty because A, it's an eye brush, so it's a little bit more rare from her, but also the tapered part is amazing, and it's a little bit thinner than the e.l.f. blending brush. I think it's called the e.l.f. blending brush where it's tapered too, but that one's a little bit bigger. So if you have smaller eyes, this one's gonna be a little bit easier to work with because it's more flat. Now the next thing I can't open up to show you, so hopefully you can kind of see through just for the color reference, but it is ColourPop Super Shock Shadow in Too Shy, and it is a pressed pigment. And I guess out of the reason why this is the only one I think out of all the ones that I've ever gotten that came crumbled, maybe it's because it's a pressed pigment, but it came completely crumbled to me. It's still crumbled now, and even when I try to press it together, it presses a little bit, but there's still like crumbliness, so I don't want to get blue eyeshadow all over the carpet, so I'm not going to pull it out. But I had to go into the bathroom to do this part of the makeup tutorial just to minimize mess, and I pretty much just pressed down my finger on it and then pressed, like kind of like tapped on my eyelid and then just try to squeeze it through, and there were still crumbles that like came down, but I ended up getting the shade that I wanted. I just had to work with it more, and it is getting a little bit old in its defense. I think whenever I first got it, even though it came a little crumbled, I was able to mush it back together, but now it's just so crumbly that it's just like really hard to work with, but you can make it work. So I was able to make it work, and I put this on my lid, and when I was first deciding on what to look to do today, one, I knew I wanted to do bold, as much makeup as possible. I wanted to go all out with my makeup today. And I thought, you know, the first thing that I thought of when I wanted to do a bold makeup look is to do a blue lip, because I haven't done a blue lip in a long time. I love this blue lip shade from ColourPop, and I thought that this would be fun, and I thought this would be a great way to kind of tie in the eyeshadow with the lip color. So I don't know if I mentioned it, but I applied that with my finger. A lot of the times when I do lids, especially any sort of metallic lid, any sort of glittery lid, titanium finish, I use my finger, and typically I go in with my middle finger and then I use my pinky finger to get on the inner part. Then I wanted to go in with liquid eyeliner, and I used the Wet n Wild Mega Liner liquid eyeliner. This is my favorite liquid liner that I have tried thus far, and I'm sure will be my, even if I find something better that's high end, this will be like my drugstore favorite as far as liquid eyeliners go, because I have tried quite a bit. Well, I've tried like 4. Well, since going cruelty-free and vegan, I think I've tried like 2 from e.l.f. and 2 from Wet n Wild that are vegan and cruelty-free. I don't know if there's other ones. I'll have to look. I think we'll see. But I've really been liking this, and I definitely want to repurchase this one. It works so great, makes my life easy. So I really, really like this Wet n Wild liquid eyeliner. This is definitely, I would say, one of my Holy Grail favorites. Yes, Holy Grail product for sure. Alright, the next thing I went in with was the e.l.f. Poreless Face Primer. If you guys have been following me for a while, you know I'm obsessed with e.l.f. face primers. They are the best. And not only are they the best, but they're also affordable. So it's like a double, but like amazing thing to have something that works great and it also is affordable. So I'd highly recommend the e.l.f. Poreless Face Primer, and my favorite one of all time is the e.l.f. Mineral Infused Face Primer. So that's the clear one, this is the pink one, and I really want to try some of the other ones as well. I tried the lavender one. The lavender one worked great, but I still preferred the poreless and the mineralized ones better, but I haven't tried the green one, so I want to try the green one too. And this, I just applied this all over my face with my hands. And the next thing that I went in with is this e.l.f. Acne Fighting Foundation. This is my favorite foundation of all time, and it's in the shade Porcelain. Absolutely love it. It works great on the skin. It's not super dewy. It's not super matte. It's thick, but not like heavy on your face. Just thick enough that you're covering up the things that you want to hide, but not thick enough where you're uncomfortable. Because I do have a little bit of redness on my cheeks, and then, you know, occasionally I get a blemish or acne or whatever. But for me, I just love the way that it feels and looks on the skin. It just works so great, and I have yet to find something that beats this. At least since I've gone vegan and cruelty-free. I can't really remember what I used to use and what I necessarily loved, but oh, it's amazing. I definitely want to repurchase this one. Oh, and I completely forgot. So at the beginning, I told you guys I went in with the e.l.f. HD Lifting Concealer, and I placed it on my eyes. Well, after I placed it, I blended it in with this brush from the Jemini Beauty brush set. I will link my video down below where I go over those brushes and review the set with you guys, but they're just so freaking cute and adorable. They are smaller than I thought that they were going to be, but you know, whatever. But this one I think was meant for like cream contouring or something, because it's like a flat brush. But sometimes if I run out of brushes that are like, because all of my brushes are great, I've been here for like a couple months and I have yet to wash my brushes. I really need to get on that. But it's like I never think about it until I go to do my makeup, and then I'm like, crap. And then I'm like, oh, I gotta do it, and then later I completely forget and I don't remember to, like, it's a cycle. So I gotta try to remember. But so sometimes I like to use something like this. So what I did was I put the e.l.f. concealer on my brow bone and my lid, and then I just blended it in with this brush. And then whenever I went to do with my foundation, I also used the same brush and blended in my foundation with this, and this worked great. Then I also used it to blend in my concealer that I put underneath my eye, and again I went in with the e.l.f. HD Lifting Concealer, and this time around I put it right here, and then blended it out with this brush, which does a really good job. I'm not saying it's my favorite brush of all time, but I haven't noticed any like fraying issues with these brushes. They're not like the Jemini Beauty brush that's not necessarily my go-to. I think it was more my go-to when I first got it because I was all excited about it. But at this point right now, I'm kind of just reaching in and trying to find things that are clean. But this worked great. I loved it for blending in, and especially if you want something a little bit smaller for traveling. Like, it sucks that these are small. I was kind of hoping that they would be bigger and longer. But for traveling, this would actually be really nice. All right, the next thing I did was go in, I'm having a hard time finding where to open it, is the Milani Baked Blush in Luminoso. This is like a holy grail blush of mine. I absolutely love this blush. I'm not really a big blush person, but I'm all about this blush. It's because I feel like it just gives your gives you a nice glow. I think it does have some glitter, specks of glitter in it, but it's not like you put it on and you're like, oh, glitter. Like, it's just really, really, a really nice shade. Definitely a YouTube favorite, I think, as far as blushes go, and it's definitely a go-to of mine. It makes me want to try more of the other ones, but I still have yet to try that. I'll get to it eventually. And then I went in with another Jemini Beauty brush, and this is their like angled blush brush. And that is what I used to apply the blush, which this is really soft, feels like good quality, still small, but good for traveling. And I would recommend that brush. I think it's just so cute. And I think I definitely want to try more from them. I know they're a newer company, so this was kind of like their first product, but I really want to try more from them just because I love this whole mermaid idea. And whenever I first got the sets, I got sent, I don't have them anymore because I moved and I had to like, I couldn't take everything because you guys know I have a lot. So I don't have them anymore, but they sent me like 3 glass tumblers that said I'm a real unicorn or something on them. It was so cute. So cute. Oh great, the stripes are creeping. I don't want to keep moving my whole set over though. Like, come on. Alright, the next thing that I went in is with the e.l.f. Prime and Stay Finishing Powder in Translucent, and I used the SL Miss Glam Beauty Tapered Highlight P04 brush. This is from the Pink Brush book, and it's one of my favorite brushes. This comes in multiple sets, so you don't have to get one of the brush books to get it. You can get it in other sets as well. I think the Macaroon has one, and there might be one in another set too. So what's nice about it is it has this tapered end, so you can really get under here. So what I did was I applied the product right underneath here. I also applied it here, chin, nose, and then right in my forehead. Not my whole forehead, but just like the center. So like as if I was highlighting, which I guess I was. So, and I love the translucent powder for that because it's the lightest foundation powder that I have, and it works great. So that is what I use to apply the brush, which again, good quality, very cute, stylish, definitely worth the money, but I know it's hard to pay for this kind of stuff when it's so expensive, especially when it's not sold individually. So hopefully, cross my fingers, it'll be sold individually soon. And with this finishing powder, I've mentioned this before, but I really like this finishing powder. It's nothing mind-blowing, but it works, and it is the fairest foundation powder that I have, you know, been able to find at the drugstore that's affordable. So if you have really pale skin, if you have even paler skin than me, this will be your best friend. Then to really prove my point that I was trying to make in the makeup tutorial that I did, I also went in with bronzer, and I am not a bronzer person. Like, I'm not a contouring person because I don't feel like I need to contour. I don't feel like I need to bronze. You know, I embrace how white I am. I don't think I need to make myself look any thinner in the face for reasons I'm not going to get into. But I just like, and it's like, ugh, like if I can skip something like that, I'll skip it. Like, that's not like an exciting part of my makeup look that I like to do. But for this makeup tutorial today, I really wanted to go for a bold look. I really wanted to do as much makeup as possible and really go crazy with it. So I decided to go in with a ColourPop bronzer, and this one is in Bon Voyage. So what I did is I went in with this e.l.f. Small Stipple brush, which is, this is one of my favorite brushes of all time. And I spread it all over that. And I pointed it on its side, so I just got the edge of it, and I went back in here doing to apply it. Then I rubbed it all in again, and then I did swirling motions to go around my face. Now, this one is not really super duper pigmented, but that's what I like about it. So if you're trying to do a bronze look, you're gonna get it, especially if you're pale, it's gonna be a lot more subtle, which is what I want. I don't want there to be like, boom, it looks like she's contoured. Sometimes though, I'm a little worried because I'm like, is anything even showing up? Am I just putting it on my brush and is nothing coming off? So sometimes it's kind of hard to tell if it's actually doing anything, but at a minimum, it's doing something subtle. So I rather that than it being subtle and barely noticeable to over the top, because there's not any point to doing over the top. So I'm going to put it out there though. Sometimes I question, like, is it even transferring from my brush onto my face? So, but either way, but anyway, if you're going to get a bronzer, and especially if you want to try to, you know, kind of get into bronzers and you're kind of scared, maybe trying something that's not super pigmented will be a great option for you. And ColourPop products are also affordable, but I really do love this bronzer. I think whenever I do bronzer, this is like my go-to because I know it's not going to be over the top. All right, guys, I had to move over so I'm not as like crunched up with the stripes. I'm moving away. It's going to catch up to me. You're going to see it touching me soon, but I figured I'd move over a little bit. Show you guys I'm not that lazy. Alright, so the next thing I did was my brow. So the no brushes required, just what the brow products came with. So I used the e.l.f. brow pencil in taupe, used the brush to spread out my brows, and then filled it in with the pencil that it comes with. And then after that, I set it with the Anastasia Beverly Hills brow gel, which does come with its own brush, which honestly, this is my favorite. I've only tried two, so like, to be fair, but I really, really love this clear brow gel. I've repurchased it at least 4 times, and I will repurchase it again when I have money. So I'm trying to like sparingly use this. And then the e.l.f. brow pencil in taupe I think is only like $2. So this is great. And I really, really like it for the price. I still prefer the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz, but it's just not worth the money at this point in time. And especially when I go through brow products so quickly. And so that's kind of like a splurge item. And the ColourPop ones are good. I just don't have a shade that works for me. But if you guys know of anything comparable, like anything, let me know what your favorite brow wizzes are. Whether they're high-end or not, I want to know what you guys really like. Because I do want to try new things too down the road when I can. Whenever that will be. And I went in with 2 highlighters just to really go bold and go big or go home, do as much makeup as possible because that's the point of this. I went in with the ColourPop Soul So Super Soft Cheek, and this is a pearlized finish. So what I did was I went in with my finger. I think I used my pointer finger, and I spread it on my cheekbone, then blended it in I think with another finger. Then I used my pointer finger and then put a dot here, and then blended it in with my other finger. I might not have done that, but that's typically what I would do, is to, I would definitely use my fingers. Sometimes I forget which one I used. But that's like a good way to do it, is to place it with one and then blend it in with the other. So that's just my suggestion. So I first went in with a cream highlighter, and then I also put it on my brow bone. And to place it on my brow bone, I don't think this brush is available anymore from SL Miss Glam Beauty. It's one of her original brushes, and it's from a set. I think you could buy it individually too. I can't remember, but pretty much it's just one of her lip brushes. She has other lip brushes like this in her other sets, but it has like the 2 stone, it's pink, it has that little tiny thing, and I've said many a times, if you're gonna try to get on that inner corner, use a lip brush, because lip brushes are smaller, and honestly, I feel like they should be more designed for the inner corner of the eye than for lip. I don't know why. When I see these brushes, I think inner corner eye, not lip at all, especially this one that's really small, so it's really perfect to get on that inner corner. But I also like to use it to get onto the brow, so I went in with this shade, dipped it in, and then just placed it on, and I think I used my pinky finger to kind of blend it out a little bit. Then just to top it off, I wanted to go in with a powder highlighter, and I went in with the Anastasia Illuminator in Starlight. And I'm sorry guys, this is discontinued. I think Rose Quartz is still available. Like, I didn't realize until someone pointed it out to me on Instagram this is no longer available. But it's what I have. So sorry, I can only do so much. But what I did was I went in with this brush again from SL Miss Glam Beauty, the Tapered Highlight P04, because not only this is good to set your under eye concealer, but it has a tapered enough end that you can really apply a powder highlighter really nicely. So that's what I did. So I dipped this into the highlighter, and I went right on top of that creamy cheek highlight, and that's how I applied the cheekbone highlight. And then I used my finger to put on the nose and on the Cupid's bow. And then again, I went in with the lip brush from SL Miss Glam Beauty, dipped that into the highlight powder, spread it on here, and again, use my finger, or my pinky finger, to blend it out. Then to make sure that there wasn't such a harsh line, I went back in with the Ipsy SL Miss Glam Beauty brush, and I used that to kind of fluff out the crease again, just so it blended both the crease and the brow bone products that I put on, just so it wasn't like brow bone product, crease. Like, I want it to be like, I don't know if that made any sense too, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it blends in better, and it's not so like, you can see the line between them. So, and my bun keeps getting caught into these sequins, so things are going down. Hopefully this doesn't fall apart. It already is. Don't look. Then I went in with the Physicians Formula eyeliner. This is from a shimmer strip set, so they had a couple sets, and my girl Taylor sent this to me, so I really appreciate it. And this is the Nude Eyes set, and this is a black, this is a black eyeliner. And this one has glitter in it, but you don't have to have one that has glitter in it. You can just do regular black. It could be any black eyeliner. It doesn't have to be this one. But this one I already know is vegan and cruelty free. So I put this black eyeliner both on my upper and lower waterline. And I really like this. I love that Taylor sent me those sets because it gave me a variety of eyeliners to choose from to create different looks. The black one and the purple one I use the most. The black one because it's like a standard color. I really love putting black on as a liner with mascara. I like black mascara. I'm not really a big brown mascara, brown eyeliner type of person, so I usually go for black. And then if I'm not going for black, I go for something really colorful, and the purple one I really like. So, but I think that's from a different set. I think that's from like a meant for hazel eyes set or something. I don't know. But this one is really great for that. So that's all I did was put on my upper and lower waterline because I was going big or go home with this look. The next thing I did was go back in with ColourPop Bravery and put this on my lower lash line. And to place it, I went in with the Sigma Pencil E30 brush. I absolutely love this brush. I don't like it in the sense that I feel like I have to use another brush to blend it out, but it does a great job of placing. And this is definitely one of my favorite brushes from Sigma. It's a great brush to use on that lower lash line. So that's what I did, right underneath the lash line, and just spread on the color, which is Bravery from ColourPop. Sigma brushes are really high quality. I've only ever had problem with one brush, which is one of the two Sigma F80s that I had. But as I was like using my brushes, I'm like, that really is the only one that broke down on me, that gave me a hard time. But I feel like every other one has been great. No problems at all. Good quality, not breaking apart. So I really need to get more into Sigma. Then just to make sure the lower lash line looked a little bit more blended and not so like stark and just like too proper, I guess. I went in with the SL Miss Glam Beauty Angled Eye W20 brush from the White Glam brush book, and it's an angled brush, but it's also a little bit fluffy and it's a little bit thick, so it's not too pointy and straight. It has enough fluff to, you know, create a fluff on the lower lash line. I didn't put any product on this. I strictly just used it to blend out what was already there. So I just kind of put it on its side and then just blended it out. Another great brush from SL Miss Glam Beauty. I'm so repetitive, but all the brushes are high-end, amazing, beautiful. Go get them. Then to make the lash line even darker, actually I don't know why. This is, okay, I always go to this palette whenever I just need a black. Sometimes I don't feel like going into my ColourPop. Sometimes I just like to pull the makeup that's underneath my sink and not have to go to my ColourPop. I have like a travel box thing, whatever you call those, that's just filled with ColourPop. Sometimes I don't feel like going to get it. So what I do is I go in with this e.l.f. Matte for Plum palette and I just pull the black from here. Completely forgot that I already had ColourPop Roulette out. I could have just used that, but whatever. So I went in with this black shade right here. You just need a black shade. And that's pretty much the main reason, the only time I ever really go into this palette is for the black. So I went in with the black and I put it on my lower lash line and I placed it with the Sigma Smudge E21 brush. I love this brush for smudging and doing stuff underneath the lower lash line to create a more smoked out look. So I went in with the eyeshadow and I placed it underneath, just patting it on its, like the flattened part. Not the tip, the flattened part, just flattened it on. And then I just kind of went on the tip and then kind of blended back and forth. And not even just back and forth, but also kind of lowered it a little bit just to smoke it out. So you want to start at the very, like as close to your eyeball as possible and then work your way out just to create that effect. You want it to be darker as you go in and lighter as you go out. So that is kind of like what I was going for. I wanted it to be kind of a smoked out look. I really wanted to have a really bold eye. And like I said, with this eyeshadow palette, I only really go to it for the black. I think the nude shade would be great too. I think you have to be careful kind of with the middle shades because they're a little bit more, they're not typical shades that I can go for. Like black you could use for a lot of things. This would be a great brow bone highlight lid shade. But these are a little bit like you really got to plan out the look. But yeah, I mostly go to it for this shade. But I think it's only like $2 or $3. So if you just need a black eyeshadow, I think it's totally worth the $2 or $3. And then if you want to use the other stuff, you can. Plus, it's like small and thin. There's a little mirror here, but I don't think you can really use it because it's so tiny. And it does come with like one of those spongy brushes, but I just like toss those. Girl, you don't need it. Then I went in with another ColourPop product, and I've mentioned this a million, gajillion, fulfillion times. And it is the ColourPop Super Shock Shadow in Tassel. And it is a metallic finish. So it's for the inner corner. I put it on the inner corner of my eye just to add a bold white shade. But this one's also glittery. There was one called, I want to say it starts with like a B. Bites. It was Bites. So it was like this, but instead of a metallic finish, it was completely matte. And I really like that one. So hopefully they come out with a completely matte one just like that. Because the good thing about these ColourPop eyeshadows is the ones at least that come in the pots. I have not tried the pans, but the ones that come like this, they're very creamy. So when you have something that's creamy like that, they're a lot more pigmented. And I really love the pigmentation that these white ones have given me, because it really makes the inner corner of the eye pop. And I love that. I love a pop of inner corner because it really does create a nice contrast. I think if I don't want a contrast and I go for like a highlighter for the inner corner of the eye, I typically want there to be that bold contrast. I think it makes the look a lot of fun. It makes the rest of your makeup pop. So I absolutely love this shade. It's definitely a holy grail shade of mine. I would like it to get it in just a matte form and not just a glitter form, just to mix it up. But I really, really, really love it. If it's still available, get it. And to apply that eyeshadow, I used, again, the lip brush from SL Miss Glam Beauty and just tap it on the inner corner. And I think I used like my pinky finger just to kind of blend it in a little bit.
Again, this Wet n Wild mascara is not vegan friendly. It's the Max Fanatic. I thought it was at one point, or it was, and then they changed the formula. I'm not sure, but it is definitely not vegan now. So just keep that in mind. This is an older video that I filmed, but I still wanted to share the look with you guys.
Now the next part is kind of funny. So you guys know how I feel about lashes. I like love and hate them, but whenever I do such a bold look like this, I really think eyelashes are key because it really just brings the whole look together, and you're so dramatic with everything else that you really need your lashes to be bold to be able to handle that contrast. I feel like with a bold look like this, if you don't have false eyelashes put on, or if you don't have naturally really thick lashes, like your eyelashes kind of get lost. So I definitely wanted to go in and put on false lashes, but then I was like, oh my gosh, this dual lash glue is, you know, broken. Like I showed you guys in a previous video where it just bubbles out and it's just like broke. I don't know what happened. So I was like, I can't use it. So I was like, let me try the e.l.f. glitter primer. And I have yet to use it. So I was like, let me just try it for eyelash glue. So I was able to put on my lashes with this and I was like, okay, great. Then 2 seconds later, the inner parts of my lashes started to come up and I was like, great. So I was able to, so the rest of it's still holding, like the outer parts seem to be going, the middle part, it's just that inner part, I kept trying to use this and it was just not working. So I was like, okay. Now, granted, whenever I put these on, I don't think I show you in the makeup tutorial how I put them on because it was just going to be too hard to do on camera, especially because I haven't done my lashes in a long time. I did it in the bathroom. But I use my, like I kind of set it on with my hands and then I go in with tweezers to kind of pull on that inner corner in and then go in, like I actually put this underneath like my eye, like skin, I don't know, and then just like press them together. And but this wasn't holding up for the inner part, and the inner part's always the hardest for me anyway. That seems to be the part that comes loose the easiest. So I went in with my dual lash glue because what I did was I got my pair of scissors and I cut off the tip, and then I just kept squeezing until some stuff bubbled out, and then the gray product came out. I'm like, yes. So then with the gray product spilling over, like it wasn't gonna be easy to slide onto the lash. So I used the e.l.f. Small Precision Brush, put it on the tip of this brush, dipped it into the liquid, and then just put it on my eyeline. So I didn't want to rip off my lashes. I never took them off. So I put it on the tip of this brush, and then I dotted it on my, where I have the liquid eyeliner, where I would want my lashes to sit. I put it on there, waited a couple seconds, like maybe 10 to 15 seconds. Then I went in with the tweezers, pulled the lashes down, and then just held it down. And then they stayed. I did have to touch up one time, so it wasn't like the perfect thing. But I think if I went in with this originally, maybe it would have gone better. But I was trying to make this work because that one wasn't working originally. But I was like, okay, let me go try to fix it. And I was able to fix it. So not probably perfectly, but I was able to get the product to come out. So that was fun. That was a good time. And then I also used the Ardell Glamour lashes. These are my favorite lashes. I love the Demi Wispies too, but I remember loving them, but I can't remember the difference now. But these are definitely a little bit more bold. But if you're going to do a bold look like this, I would go in with the Glamour lashes. But if you're going to do something a little bit more subtle, I think the Demi Wispies work great too. And I like that they're more affordable. You can pick it up at the drugstore, so it's not a hassle. You don't have to wait for it to be shipped to you. But I do want to branch out and try more down the road. So, but that's like a very down the road type of thing. So in the meantime, I'm going to use the crap out of this set. And then once I can afford new lashes, maybe I'll get another set of Ardell and maybe try out something high end. But if you guys have any suggestions on lashes that you really like, let me know down in the comments. And I forgot to mention, but after I put on my mascara and before I put on my lashes, I went in again with the e.l.f. Makeup Mist-In Set. So I like to set my face, but I don't want to set it after I put my lashes on because I don't want to have any way of loosening my lashes at all. They're a pain in the butt to put on and to begin with, and the last thing that you want is to be out and your lashes to come undone. So I wouldn't spray like a misty product right on top of them. So definitely make sure that you do that first. So I did that right after I put on my mascara and right before I put on my lashes. Then after I put on my lashes and I made sure that they set, I went back in with the Wet n Wild Mega Liner because some of the product that I used was white or kind of gray. So whenever it set, I wanted to make sure that I covered up, like especially the e.l.f. glitter glue, because that was, it's not a lash glue, and it kind of dried a little white. So I went back over top of it with the liquid eyeliner from Wet n Wild just to cover it up. However, if you can avoid doing that, I would. I had to because I used the e.l.f. glitter glue first. But the reason why I say that is it's just another thing that you're putting on top of your lashes that could possibly loosen them, or maybe it didn't set long enough and you start putting stuff on top of it and then it loosens it. So like minimize that as much as you can, which is why I suggest going with the Duo Dark Tone, because it's dark tone, so it's supposed to dry dark. It looks gray when it comes out of the tube, but it's supposed to dry dark. So that way you're not like, oh, well, I have to cover up white or clear or white or whatever that you use to set with it. So only use it if you need to. So that's just like my little pointer there. Then the last two steps were lippies, and you know, the whole inspiration for this look is the ColourPop Ultra Matte Lip in Jellies. So I put this all over my lips. I just think it's like a fun, bold lip color, and that's why I went in with the blue eyeshadow just to tie everything in. But when I was thinking bold, I was thinking blue. That's just like perfect. And you guys have seen me with black lipstick on, so I wanted to do something that was both dark, vampy, and colorful. So that's why I decided to go for this, just to switch it up a bit. And then over top of it, I went in with the e.l.f. lip lacquer in clear. This is an affordable lip lacquer. It works great. I'm not a big lip gloss person, so I didn't want to invest in something that was super expensive, especially when it's just a clear lip gloss. Like, why pay so much for a clear lip gloss unless it's like there's something really special and amazing about it? I get that, but if it's not like the most amazing lip gloss that you've ever used and it like your hair doesn't get stuck in it when the wind's blowing, like, what's the point? So this one works great. Does exactly what I needed to do, just make my lipsticks look a little bit more juicy. So I put this over. This was great about the clear lip lacquer, is that you can put it over top of everything. So I really like this a lot. And I love ColourPop Ultra Mattes. I love ColourPop lippies in general. They're my favorite formulation, whether it's a matte or a satin or a gloss. I really love their lip products dearly. And mattes, to me, last the longest. Now, when you put lip gloss on top of it, it doesn't last as long, but this on its own lasts a great bit of time, and I really, really like it, and I love using fun, bold colors like this. I think ColourPop has a great color selection. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed it and found it helpful. If you have not subscribed to my channel already, please make sure to hit the subscribe button below. Click that little bell so you're notified of when my videos have been posted. Like this video if you did like it, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!
Hey beauty addicts, it's Alex. Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we are going to be doing this bold as makeup tutorial. This makeup tutorial was inspired by someone who told